And what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Destiny Nerds podcast. My name's Bearded Luke, and this is
Havoc. What's going on, guys? Got another week on the docket this evening.
So hyped. What a week.
We got a lot to talk about, Luke. Again, welcome. Again, thank you to everyone who showed up to the first episode last Sunday. A lot more than we expected, honestly. So again, thank you for showing up. Again, if you happen to miss the live version, Mr. Luke, after every live podcast, takes the time to not only upload it to YouTube in all its glory, but he uploads it to our Anchor. Then Anchor, which is an awesome thing, distributes to all of the streaming platforms that have podcasts like Spotify, I think Google Music, Amazon, Apple Music, and so forth. I know for the first week, the first episode, it was slowly being distributed because it was our first episode. So we're hoping that it's a lot quicker and it gets into your preferred platform for your listening needs.
It should really fast this time. It's just that first time. It has to connect it connects all the things, and then boom, as soon as we do it now, it'll be like YouTube. It's there.
Yeah. So without further ado, Beyond Light. Now normally we would get right into the story stuff, but I feel, and as I'm sure the community will agree, that I think the mess that is PvP kind of outshadowed Beyond Light story campaign with the new subclass known as Stasis, and then we got the Wither Horde issue. So Luke plays a lot of PvP and comp. So what was your experiences like?
Yeah, so at first it was, I kind of knew going in that it's a new ability. It's a new subclass.
I think we all kind of knew, Luke. I think we all kind of knew this was going to happen.
It's a new subclass. So obviously something crazy is going to happen. Like it's going to be broken somehow. There's always been something broken in Destiny when it first comes out.
Yep.
So I knew Stasis was going to be broken in some way. I didn't realize how broken the Warlock's ability was going to be in PvP itself.
Warlock master class. That's all I got to say.
It's very master class right now. But so far, I'm not on like the hate. Like I haven't gone on Twitter and bashed PvP so far. The first 2 days of PvP were really rough because I didn't have any clue how to go against the Stasis as a hunter, because you have to unlock the aspects and the controls or whatever they're called, like basically to build your subclass tree, and I hadn't done that yet. Mm-hmm. So like it's super weak. The hunter's super weak at base, but the Warlock is not super weak at base because you have 3 options of freezing people immediately. And I think that's the only gripe right now that I have with PvP is that you get frozen and you're pretty much dead no matter what, because the mechanic, like the actual like animation to get unfrozen, takes so long. Like you have to press the button so long, or at the key
hold
so
it down,
long.
Yep, and then to break out of it, and then you lose health on top of that if you decide to do that.
Yes, so then you pretty much instantly die. So there's stuff that they need to go back, but we went from 0 to 5,500 in comp in like 2 days, because that's, of course, which is another thing we can talk about later, the progression system. For some reason, that's not still one of the best ways to progress is doing stinking comp.
Yep, I heard about that. Oh, thank
you. About the first. So like I was playing on mouse and keyboard for like the last 6 weeks, and I have not been practicing MK on PvP much. So I gave up and went back to controller, and I was just like, dude, it took me like 15 matches till I got 1 win of comp. And then after that, we blew through everything. It was really fast, but it wasn't until we used 3 Stasis subclasses all the way through the card. Like there was no, I feel like you kind of are at a disadvantage if you're not using it right now. But I mean, so far this is the thing. PvP is getting a lot of either praise or not praise right now for Stasis. I think Stasis is a little bit broken, and it's shaking up the inside of PvP. But if you look at the groundwork of what weapons are balanced, weapons have been balanced and tuned really nicely. Like pulse rifles are usable again. Like I've been using, no time to explain, like it's no one's business. Hand cannons feel pretty okay. Snipers don't have as much aim assist, so they're not like destroying everyone. Like everything feels a little bit better. The only problem is Stasis is a little bit broken right now, so it's making it a little bit more difficult to get used to. It feels like a little bit too wacky in there, but I don't know. I've not hated it. I haven't been one of the guys that's hated it, but at the same time, it has been frustrated in some moments. But as I played hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of it into the wee mornings, I was starting to get used to it. What is your opinion on it?
Oh man, okay. So I'm not a PvP guy, and anytime I really get into PvP is like Iron Banner. It's always been like that way for me since D1. So I heard about the mess with Stasis and Witherhoard. That's why they had to disable it in PvP. I heard about it, so I didn't jump into PvP right away. I did all my powerful stuff first, just to better optimize a little bit because I didn't want to straight go for the pinnacle.
Mhm.
So when I did dip my toe into PvP and knowing what to expect, I haven't at that time I didn't complete the campaign yet, so I didn't unlock Stasis yet at that point, and it was as expected. Frozen Guardians, as far as the eye can see. Yes, the Warlock super and everything with it's broken in a sense where you can get people behind walls. We knew this was going to happen. As soon as they showed the trailer of what Stasis can do and freeze Guardians, we knew this was going to be a problem. I think we all thought like we didn't know how bad it was going to be. And me personally, again, my opinion, I think it's pretty bad. To the point where you don't even have to use weapons. Like you're saying, yeah, everything weapon-wise feels good, but like you don't have to use your weapon. You can make sure you have your 100 help me out here. Get your 100,
Your
get
discipline,
your discipline up and all
strength.
that, and straight all that stuff. And constantly get your melee and your grenade back. You really don't need to use any weapons, honestly. So I dealt with that. I didn't really deal
Was
with
that in quick play though? I haven't played much quick play.
I did
Like,
quick play. I don't do comp, so I was in quick play.
so comp, you have a less likely chance to get tons of kills. Like you get 30 kills, but it takes like 15 minutes to do that.
Yeah,
So there
yeah,
wasn't like people were using guns a lot when I was experiencing PvP.
yeah. So here's the thing. So I hopped into PvP. At this time, they disabled Witherhoard, but I was streaming that night, and some people were still using Witherhoard. I don't know how.
Was it just on? They probably. Oh, I wonder if it was still on their character when it did.
Maybe, but some people. I had some matches that people were still using Witherhoard, but it wasn't bad. I was more worried about being frozen.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, again, like I'm not a PvP guy, but
Yeah.
it was frustrating. Now I wasn't on the hate train on Twitter. Oh my god, this is the worst thing in the world. But I can understand why people are upset.
Yeah.
Now
that makes sense.
here's my thing, and I pass this question to you. Right now, how can they fix it right now? Do they disable it from PvP? Do they disable?
Oh, stasis.
Yeah, do
Dude,
they
I don't.
disable it? Because they've been
No,
disabling everything else
I
and
know
fixing
they
everything
have
else
been.
on the fly. So like, do they disable the stasis subclass from PvP only, not PvE? Do they disable it from PvP until they can find a way to kind of tinker with it? Because you get frozen, you're insta dead. You takes like 4 or 5 seconds to get out of that frozen state. They got to find a way to kind of like drop the timer on that a little bit, maybe something like.
I think the timer just needs a change. There's like little tweaks that I think they could fix, but disabling the new subclass that we got was probably not the best idea. Like I know it's not I don't think it's broken to the point where it's unfair to play PvP. I don't personally think that. You might think that, but I think it's fine. I think it's like something that just needs tinkered with, like a hot patch. You know what I mean? Something that's gonna like.
I think we're gonna have to
quickly fix
just
something.
agree to disagree. I'm like.
Like we asked for new content for all this. We asked for new subclasses and we get them, and now we want to disable it.
When you rely on just a grenade that freezes you for your kills nonstop, and that's all people use. Like, if I want to play the Mayhem playlist, which will be here Tuesday, that's going to be interesting.
Oh, that would be fun.
I should be allowed to throw my grenade if someone's in their super and me hitting them with an ice grenade and freezing them in their super. That should not happen.
That is a little bit OP. Like getting frozen in your super by
like
an
in Mayhem.
grenade.
Mayhem's all about supers and all your abilities, recharge faster. People will attempt to use their super, but they'll get frozen by an ice wall or an ice grenade.
Mm-hmm.
I
I think it's just
I don't
like
know.
how it is in Destiny. It's whenever something new comes out, it's broken as frick, and
Oh
then
yeah,
they fix it fast. Especially,
instantly.
I'm mad about Witherhoard, not because of PvP. I actually didn't witness in PvP because I hadn't played a lot. I didn't play PvP the first 2 days. It was the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But my new Witherhoard was going to be my new mountaintop. I was going to use that in PvE only,
No,
like,
I
for
like
everything.
Witherhoard. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great, but then it was disabled within like 24 hours of me
Because
deciding
people
I
on
liked it.
Twitter were complaining about it, and adding the community managers, and then boom, within a few
Boom,
hours,
gone.
disabled, gone.
Moon bounty's gone. I'm impressed though.
I didn't
I'm
know
gonna be
about the
honest
moon
though.
bounties.
It's
Honestly,
crazy how fast they're like disabling stuff. They didn't used to be able to do that so quickly. It would just be broken until like the next reset.
and they
They'd have to
delayed
take it off.
trials too because they understood. They say the Witherhoard is the reason why they're delaying trials, but we know that Witherhoard and Stasis and hand in hand, it's
Yeah, they're really seeing what it looks like out there. They saved their butts by not having it on this past Friday, because it would have just been people complaining like there was no one's like people. It wouldn't have been fun. So I think they have to have some sort of tweaks in
something, anything.
the next 2 weeks, because it's the 29th now. I think that weekend,
Yes.
is whenever Trials is coming back. So,
It's the Death Friday, so it'll be the 27th. It comes back.
okay.
So yeah, like I guess we're both on a different side of the fence here on this. I think it should be disabled. You think it's OP, but it's not as bad, and you're okay with it because maybe you're one of those people, Luke. Maybe you're one of those people.
I just think I think that it's a
What a
new
win.
subclass, and I'm happy that there's something new finally. But at the same time, I kind of just get that. Maybe it's just because I played so much comp that I got past the anger, and then I just learned how to play against it, basically.
If you can't beat them, join them. Is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, you just play as Stasis then, and freeze people yourself, and see what happens.
So I like Stasis as a whole. Like in PvE, that's where I play most of the time. I like it. It's awesome clearing ads, and obviously you don't want to rely on it as your main DPS or whatever. Like like in like raid, I don't see people running Stasis the whole time during the raid. Maybe one person will, just to help with clearing the ads of whatever encounter, but like it's fun. Like my only complaint, I guess, with it is when it comes to PvP, that's where it's OP.
Yeah, and I think we all knew that was going to happen. An ability that freezes people, that's immediately better than all the other supers. So we knew it was coming. It's just figuring out how to now it's figuring out how to make it even with everything else, which means they might have to tweak the other subclasses, which I wish they would have done what they did with this I wish they would have went and retweaked all the other subclasses.
I love the tree. I love the tree of the Stasis, what they did, and I think they mentioned it earlier in the summer when they showed off the new tree for Stasis. I think either Cosmo or DMG said, like, if people like this, like how it's customizable, it's something they may use for the other subclasses in the future. Yeah. So I like it. I like how you can unlock and go after things, and kind of pick and choose how you want to set up your thing. I think that's neat, and I would love to see what they could do with it in the future. Void, Solar, and Arc. So it should be interesting. Be interesting.
Yes.
Moving on from that, I guess we could talk about the Beyond Light story. Again, this is going to be spoiler free. We're not going to tell any detailed portions of the story. We're just going to give our general thoughts of the story. Kind of maybe talk about a little bit of the stuff after the story. Again, not too detailed. So if you didn't finish the campaign yet, you're fine. You can listen. You can watch. You don't have to turn away. I feel like Luke has a lot to say about the Beyond Light campaign, so I'm going to give him the floor, and it's all yours, sir.
Yeah, I guess without being spoilerly,
that's a word.
I did enjoy. Like, I'll just say like what my opinion on it was, if that's cool.
So yeah, go ahead.
I think that it was a good-ish campaign for Destiny. So like, Bungie's good at storytelling in their own interesting way, not in like the typical way where they give you an actual like 30-hour campaign. This is probably like a 5-hour campaign that has story that is cool because it leads off of the last few seasons. But to be honest, the campaign was like really bland for me. What was really good is the questing that happens with the subclass after the story ends. So
Yes.
like the quest to unlock the different stasis abilities inside of your subclass is way too long, and I'm not looking forward to doing it on all my characters. But the actual lore that's coming from that as I do it is like some of the best stuff, like legitimately in live in game, like whenever you're finishing missions or finishing stuff, some of the best stuff story wise that I've witnessed. So other than that, like to be honest, like without being spoiler, like to be as spoiler free as I can, it's a great campaign, but at the same time, it's not. I don't know how to explain it. Like
I think I can explain it perfectly because I talked about this on my stream, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, the campaign as a story as a whole, like just as a story, it was fine. I liked it. I liked it a little bit more than Shadowkeep, which again is not saying much, but I liked it a little bit more. This campaign didn't feel like a main campaign.
No.
It felt like a side thing.
Like, yeah, it did. It felt like a side quest.
Whereas Season of the Hunt, which we'll talk about later, feels like this is going to be a main campaign because it's about the darkness and all this stuff and Aldrin. Yes. # spoilers, which you should know by now because they showed the trailer like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, everybody's been talking about Crow.
Yeah, so like I feel like Season of the Hunt is going to have more to do what we like. I'm more like Luke and I have talked about this on and off air. We're more excited of what's going to happen this Tuesday than we were going into Beyond Light with the actual Beyond Light campaign. So I was talking about this with my stream where, the Beyond Light, it's good, but it didn't feel like a main campaign, like good. It felt like, if this was like a side thing, like if this was Season of the Hunt, like what we were doing, it's like they flipped spots.
Yes, it feels like a placeholder, to be honest. It feels like hey, we really want Lightfall to come out eventually, but we're not done yet, so we're gonna throw this in the mix.
Yeah,
just to add a little.
That's what it felt like. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but in a sense, it is a bad thing because it didn't feel like a main story. Because once you're done with the story, what else is there to build off of? After you complete the end of this, what the resolution of it? There's nothing going.
I don't know. I guess we'll wait till the raid. I guess the raid Saturday, so there's more that could come with it. But at the same time, you're right. It's not like there's so much they could have done with it, especially with how huge Europa is.
It is. Which they do need to add another waypoint all the way up north.
Yes.
Just saying.
Gosh,
they need to add another one, please.
To get up there. Also, like the thing that I think this is where Bungie like kind of screwed themselves a little bit was they did that event right at the end of last season, right before the day before this came out. And it was so good. Like we went to the tower and we watched the Traveler.
By the way, listeners, I predicted it right.
You did. You predicted it correctly.
That's right.
The Traveler healed and then it went white and then it showed the darkness taking over.
Yeah.
And then we just get into the campaign and everything's fine.
Yeah. They don't really talk about it. Yeah. Like
I was so hyped for like to see the darkness or watch a cutscene of like them coming in but then nope. And also like there's a lot of stuff and this isn't spoilerly, but like it's like think about Eris and the Drifter being on Europa serving zero purpose for the entire
You see
campaign.
them like one time together all around the fire.
What are they there for?
That's all you see. And that's all you see. Like if you're expecting to have more interaction with those two characters, you don't. You see them there. And they kind of just go back to Eris goes back to the freaking moon, and Drifter goes back to the annex in the tower, and
today, and they don't talk about it.
The Exo Strangers just kind of chills, no pun intended.
Yeah,
right outside the whole time. So like, it's like it's a good campaign, but as a main campaign, it felt like how you were putting it, like a little bland. To bounce off of that, like I see a lot of people, and I don't know if you saw the exchange between Gathalion and I had.
I did see you say something to him, and he responded.
Yeah, him and I were going back and forth. I mean, not back and forth in a mean way, but like he felt like kind of how like he played the campaign, and it felt like more Destiny to him, and and I think a lot of people fall into this thing where we're always going to compare every new expansion, the fall expansion, to Forsaken and the Taken King.
Yeah.
And it's hard to top those things, especially now since Bungie is by themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about that. They were with Activision and their 2 studios helping them when they did Forsaken. And they had help again with the Taken King, and they were under Activision. They had all that extra manpower. Now they don't have that, and they even came out saying don't really expect Forsaken size expansions anymore. It's just they can hire more people, but how can they really do that, especially during a pandemic?
Yeah.
Really, honestly.
I mean, they're barely even working at the studio. They're all working
you gotta remember,
home.
they're doing this all from home still. They're still doing all, and that's what is so remarkable. Like, we could complain or find a way to, I mean, as a community, we always find a reason to complain about something, but gotta think about it. They did all this stuff from home. Like, that in itself is impressive. How much we can, slam the campaign or how we didn't like this or that or this. They did this from home. And they should be like put on like such a pedestal because they went beyond, again, no pun intended, the Call of Duty, and just they hit it out of the park when it came to doing this from home. But back to what I was saying with Cathalion, he's saying this just felt like more Destiny to him, and he always tries to compare, again, to Forsaken and the Taken King, and that's what I said. Well, that's not fair. You can't do that. And just having a basic conversation. Of course, people slid into the messages and they gave their point of view, but I wasn't trying to start anything. But I was just like, as I listed before, like the reason why the way the things are now is because of this. And I didn't expect, like, I think we all, I don't know if you did, Luke, but I try not to be super hyped anymore, really.
I don't get hyped at all.
Because I'd rather be going to something not expecting something great and then it turns out awesome, compared to, oh my god, this is going to be awesome, then it falls flat. So going into Beyond Light, like I said, I'm like, my hype level was like at a 7, but I was more hyped for Season of the Hunt, which is like at a 9. So I don't get my hopes up anymore with all this stuff. And yeah, like when it comes to with the story, again, didn't feel like the main campaign. The after stuff, awesome stuff. Got me, my Salvation's Grip, which is all right. It freezes things. Okay. Yeah. It does what it does. I got my No Time to Explain. I completed my Catalyst, and that's a fun weapon to use. There's some other weapons here and there that they look interesting, but I just want the right roles for them to use them more. I'm just kind of pacing myself because I'm not doing the raid like you are, because you're doing the prepping, you're doing the power, you're jumping back and forth on all your characters. So that kind of segue to our next thing, raid prep. So you preparing for the raid again, guys? This coming up Saturday, raid Saturday. Luke will be doing World's First. Or actually, world's first 24 hours. That's his goal.
Try. Yeah, we don't. That's like
Go ahead.
Our goal is just to get it done in 24 hours. If we win, then that would be a miracle.
So, again, this is a huge promo for Luke. Be at a stream, show support. If you're not going to be a part of the day one raid and you don't care about being spoiled, go to his channel, cheer his team on. I'll be there. I'll be coming back. Throughout the day, I'll check in on him to see if he's.
Make sure I'm not dead.
That dead look in his eyes like last year. So
yeah, that came eventually at around 10 hours, the 10-hour mark.
Yeah, so definitely, if you haven't followed his channel yet, please do. Watch him as he and his crew journey on through the raid. So what are you doing in preparation? Like, how are you preparing for said raid?
Yeah, so I'm preparing as best as I can, as efficiently as I can. There's definitely other gamers who are gaming way harder than me. I wish that I could have the brain capacity to game like that. So like Fuzzy Wuzzy, he's a really good streamer, and he had like and this is sweet. He had like spreadsheets with like each of his characters and what roles
like what
okay, he's spreadsheeting like what was the most efficient thing to be doing at each time. So he was switching between all the characters to get the best drops, and he got the 1050.
But before you go any further, Luke, were you one of the people who took advantage of the Lost Sector before they shut it down?
Yes, I got all my characters to
I only got my
1200 in
Warlock,
one day
and
or in
then
like an
I went
hour.
on Joe's account and started working on hers.
Yeah.
And middle of it, they shut it down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
apparently,
did that.
there's
For sure
another
I did
loot
that.
cave available now in the Cosmic
Yeah, I
Zone, but
saw the loot cave. I'm gonna go to try it tonight. But
yeah. But continue.
basically what I'm doing and what they usually say is to start on your least favorite character,
Yeah.
run through the campaign, and then get to I got to the soft cap, and then I switched over to my two other characters, got them to soft cap,
Mhm.
and then went back to my third character. And then this is where it's different now. It used to be just do all your powerfuls and pinnacles, then switch. Now comp level ups and every 7 wins gives you a powerful reward. Vanguard strikes can give you random powerful rewards, and gambit upgrades like resets or
I
whatever
heard
give
Gambit's
you
better now.
it
Like,
is Gambit
it's
is
like
much
so
better.
quick and done now. It's like you can be done within 5 minutes.
Yes, it's so much faster. It's so much faster, which is great. I still don't like it, but so you
Me
can do
either.
those things. So basically what people are saying is like to min max all your stuff. So like if you're missing something that's like a -2, like you need like a +2 on something or a
Mhm.
+0 or whatever, do some gamut matches, and then you might get a prime, or from one of the level up packages you might get a powerful if you're lucky. So
Okay.
trying to get to 1250 is the next part, and that's where I'm at now. I'm 1230 base.
So you're
It-
1230. Ooh, man.
I'm 1230 base now. 1230
So you're
base
ready.
is
You're ready
yeah,
then.
that's raid ready. I'm
Yeah.
1240 something, like not
Artifact.
with the artifact, but the artifact apparently isn't going to be used. The
Nope.
actual things in the artifact are going to be usable.
Yeah, the mods will, but
the
the
levels
power
not.
boost will be
Yeah.
disabled. Yeah.
So, and I wasn't even as efficient as I could like dock. So basically, I took the whole week off work. My friend Dr. Shabby came over, and we
Saw
both
that.
literally gamed all week. And I wasn't as efficient as him, I think, in some ways, because he's like almost 1050 or 1250 base. I keep saying 1050.
So was that 1250 base already?
Yeah. Dude, there's so many people there because they're just smart. I don't know. I'm not as smart at it, but basically, my only goal was get the 1230 base on my hunter and my warlock, just in case I need to switch between the two. I'm not there on my warlock yet. I'm gonna start working my warlock tonight, and then we have all next week. So like, it was a little bit different than normal. Like, we didn't really need to rush to 1250. First of all, we're not even gonna be able to. It's the contest modifier makes it so it's more difficult anyways. So it caps out the level, so it doesn't really matter if you're overpowered. So, anyways, I've honestly just been doing everything I can on each character. It's more than I've done in a while. I'm starting to feel old because I was playing all week and I was taking more breaks than I usually do. I was like, all right, you want to go eat? Usually we'd be like, let's eat while we're playing. It'd be like, we'd go out to eat for like 2 hours and then come back, or we go to dinner for 3 hours and chill for a little bit, and then come back and game all night. But
so obviously, Friday sometime, you're gonna go grocery shopping and stock up on some food and drinks for Saturday. Obviously,
yes.
right?
Well, last time I literally just ate in the morning, and then I ate it like a little bit during it. I don't need to eat much. I'll probably just have some water, an energy drink, some G-Sups, and
you see what he did there, Chad? You see what he did there? He dropped G-Sups. Use promo code what?
Bearded
for
Luke.
G-Sups?
Yeah, code Bearded Luke for 10% off G-Sups.
See, there you go. See?
They're very good. Gamer Sups are delicious. But the the idea that day is to just sit there and play until I either get so sick and tired of playing that I leave, or we beat it. I hope it's that we beat it, because what we also did for raid prep, and this is probably different than most people, our raid team split off into 2 teams. So so on our raid team, it's our captains, basically Beast the Sheep, and then there's DC, Dr. Shabby, Tree Honey, Badger, and myself. And Tree Honey, Badger, and Beast of Sheep, they played all through the campaign and all their grind they've done so far together. Me, DC, and Doc have done literally all of our grinding together. So it was like we were building team synergy as we were grinding all week. That way we all kind of like...
So are you guys this week going to switch off?
I don't know, because my schedule, the way I play, is that I play at way different times than literally everyone else in the team.
Yeah,
so I'll probably just be by myself while they all kind of do stuff. But it seems like the whole team's raid ready, so we're ready to go. Now we just probably do a couple raids this week together, just to get our communication back up, and then go for it on Saturday. I'm pumped about it. I may or may not have looked at all the leaked stuff for it. I'm not going to say anything.
I've seen some, but yeah,
all of it got data mined. You can actually look to see people popped into the raid, but I'm not going to say anything about it. It's just I'm really bad at looking. When someone says there's a spoiler, I usually just look.
Yeah, I do. And I usually tell my clanmates, like, I know spoilers. If you want to know, you can private message me and I will show you, the link. But I will not go out of my way just to say it out loud to you. So I give them the option.
Yeah. So
again,
I'm pumped about it.
Again, if you're not following Luke on his Twitch page, do it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I will not be doing day one because I'm old and I just can't do it. Just can't do it. Just can't waste 12 hours on something potentially. So we're gonna give all that energy to Luke. But to roll off that, not only did Beyond Light come out this week, the next gen consoles came out. The Xbox Series X and S came out on Tuesday. It's the same day as Beyond Light, and then 2 days later, the PlayStation 5 came out. I myself got a PS5. Got it on that Thursday. I was fortunate enough to get it way back when GameStop accidentally did pre-orders a day early, and I snatched one up, thankfully. And I had a lot of people come by my stream asking if I feel the difference between, because I play on console for those who don't know, so I can feel the judgment already. I just prefer console. Do I feel anything different since the optimization patch for the next gen consoles won't come out until December? I do feel a little bit of difference. Now, before I get into my little, mini review, I noticed a difference on the PS4 when everything updated for Beyond Light. Everything loaded a lot quicker. So for those people who play on console, we didn't sit there for 4 or 5 minutes on the menu screen and just sit there and wait till it get in. It was boom, 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 boom. Still, it was pretty quick. So going into loading Destiny 2 on the PlayStation 5, I thought to myself, there can't be that much of a difference pertaining to loading. And there was I wouldn't say it's a significant difference, but there was a difference, I would say, by like 5 or 6 seconds. But everything seemed to run very smooth and seamless. Didn't get stuck in loading or anything. I load in quick, in and out. I love the DualSense controller.
You got it with you? Show it to us.
Oh, it's big. It's got some heft to it. Again, I like controller, so suck it. But
oh yeah,
it's got some heft to it. It's big. Nice. It's a lot of people love the controller, so it's got some heft to it, which I like. As for the DualShock, compared to the DualShock 4, which I do like that controller, but it felt very light and small, and I felt like I could just break it sometimes.
Yeah, those are small.
But the control's nice.
I break these all the time.
But yeah, so can't wait for the optimization patch. We get to play in 4K, 60 frames, and I also hear that we can also play in Crucible at 120 frames, which I heard. I guess
that's awesome.
What's his face from Xbox announced that both and people also verify for the PlayStation that Crucible you'll be able to play in 120 frames per second, which is pretty neat.
There you go.
But yeah, that's all I got to say on that. But let's talk about the thing that we're more excited about, Luke. Is Season of the Hunt Tuesday,
Season of the Hunt. What do you think's going to happen? How are we going to find Mr. Crow?
Well, obviously we saw the cutscene. And
where was that? Do you know?
I don't know where they were located, but
looks kind of like the moon.
Yeah, so we kind of know what's gonna how he's going to pop in. As soon as we see it happening in the cutscene, we're like, all right, he's gonna pop in. He's gonna sword the knight, to save Osiris, and we're gonna go like OMG. Which I kind of parts of me although I'm excited if they didn't show that part in that trailer.
Oh, they shouldn't have. They ruined that.
And then if they just surprise us with that, I think we would all go crazy. Like, oh my god!
Oh, we would have blown up. Twitter would have blown up.
Because even though we knew Aldrin was going to be in Beyond Light, because if you look at the triumphs, his little seal or his logo is like one of the triumphs. Part of his if you look at his chest plate, it's got the same insignia as one of the triumphs. So we knew he was going to be on Beyond Light, but we just didn't know when. So I think Bungie kind of missed out on that surprise. But I'm excited. We're going to be on a mission, obviously, and to meet up with Osiris, because I'm assuming it's going to be like some type of distress signal, and we got to go for meet up with Osiris, and then something's going to happen. Obviously, we'll see that cutscene, like surprise, and then apparently we are teaming up with Aldrin or Crow, whatever you want to call him, because I guess Crow now works with Spider, for what I've heard and read.
Yeah, that's what it looks
Um,
like.
so we'll be doing things with Osiris and Crow for Season of the Hunt, and going against Oryx's sister, which I
His
can't
other
pronounce.
sister, not Savathun, but whatever the
Yeah,
heck the other girl's
I
name
can't
is.
pronounce her name. I'm sure someone will tell me spell it out, but I still won't be able to pronounce it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited for that. And then on top of that, Hawkmoon Quest will be available this Tuesday. And for those who don't know, Hawkmoon is my favorite weapon in the Destiny universe. Granted, there will be changes to it. Like they're going to change the perk, a couple perks on it, I believe. But I'm excited. Probably one of the first things I'll do on reset is doing the Hawkmoon Quest as soon as it's available for me to do. So for you, Mr. Luke, what are you expecting day one, Season of the Hunt? What do you think is going to happen?
You know, it's like a mystery to me with what I think specifically is going to go down. Like I'm kind of sad they showed the cutscene, but I also have like literally no idea like what Crow or Aldrin, his new name's Crow's reasoning for being around is, or what Osiris is doing, if he saw some sort of thing in the timeline shift or whatever. I have no idea why he's doing this.
Well, you got to remember, Crow or Aldrin, he doesn't know what he did.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he did.
So he felt like he serves another purpose now through Spider. We don't know what Spider said to him to make him work for him. So I'm sure we'll find out stuff. We'll find out something.
Yeah. Also, when I went to the Dreaming City, and there's these weird looking like
there's things all over that,
all over the place,
and apparently people are hearing oracles in the Last Wish raid. So there's something up with that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm like, it's like a nice surprise excited where like I don't really have anything that I expect. I just hope that it launches more content, because here's the main gripe I have with Beyond Light this whole new season so far is there's not enough weapons and loot for this to be called a looter shooter. And this is going to be a compelling conversation that a lot of people will either agree with or disagree with.
Okay, go ahead. Say your point.
Because there's not a vendor reset. There hasn't been a vendor reset since 2018. They got rid of every good gun. They sunset everything, and then so far it doesn't look like there's anything that's being replaced that's replacing it. It's just I got a Long Shadow for a beating campaign. That's a very old, terrible gun. It just feels like there's never, and I know I get it. They're working from home. I get it. There's not a lot of resources. But dude, it is a looter shooter, and like the only thing I'm trying to do is to get my power up, and then after that, I guess I'm gonna try to figure out what the next gun is that's good. But so far, it's not looking so hot from this first week.
Here's my feedback, and it just came up, a new topic just popped into my head because I definitely want your opinion on this. So with the whole weapon thing, yeah, like I think like 70% of the weapons have been sunsetted, but how often? And I saw someone tweet this out like either yesterday, like they have all these weapons. At one point they had all these weapons, but people would use what they use all the time. Like, yeah, there's all like for me, like, yeah, there's all these weapons, but I was set in my ways of using these specific weapons.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way, but I like to figure out how to get there, and I'm not going to get there if there's 5 weapons that are the same thing since Forsaken for like 2 years straight. Like, I want new stuff. I want new armor.
They did make new perks for certain weapons.
Yeah, like they add new perks and rolls. I like that.
Which are some are interesting. So there's more into going into that. But I guess this is kind of controversial because it's
very controversial online. I've seen a lot of people having 2.
Well, not this, but there's one other thing. And it just as my cats are beating up each other in the background. So don't mind that. Thank you, cats. Segue. There is this kiosk in the tower by the vault. Do you know what I'm talking about, Luke?
The freaking exotic one where you can get all the pinnacle weapons. You get everything. Yeah.
So I never got Mountaintop. I never got Not Forgotten. I never got Lunar's Hell. I never got Recluse. I never got Jotun. Now I could just buy them from a kiosk. Granted, the pinnacle weapons are sunset, but I can use those in quick play because it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So How mad are you? How pissed are you? And because you would be up all night chasing for these certain weapons, like working on this, I'm working on that, I'm trying to get this. How pissed were you when you found out that now people could just buy them?
You know, it doesn't bother me
It
only
didn't.
because
I'm surprised.
it doesn't bother me only because one, I appreciate anything that's going to save people some time because I mean I'm willing to stay up all night to get it early if
Oh,
I
I
have
know.
to.
I've seen you.
But if these were not sunset, like if they were still like viable, I'd be very angry because then
Okay.
yes,
Well,
I could have just
what
done.
about the exotic ones like Izanagi, Burden, and Jotun, and all those? Those weapons are not sunset.
That's
These
true.
you can
That's
buy
kind of
those.
dumb. That's kind of dumb.
If
I
people
get
never
why they
got their
did it.
Anarchy, they could buy Anarchy from that kiosk.
That does actually kind of make me mad because I spent a lot of time last season getting all the stuff that I needed before the season ended, just in
Granted,
case I
it
just
costs
couldn't
you a
get
lot
it
of
ever again.
materials and glimmer and yada yada yada.
It makes it less special because the thing that makes a gun special is like for me. So
Burning
say
it.
there's a gun that's going to go away and no one can get it again. I need that gun because I want to be the special person that has the gun that someone else doesn't have.
Like people during Season of Arrivals, farming for Teraba just to
Yeah.
have it because it was going away.
Yeah, that's
You
what
can
I
just buy
did.
it.
I
Just
literally
buy
just
it.
did
You
a
can buy it.
the thing is you have to go do raids to get like these coins to turn in. You can't just buy it immediately, but I don't know how easy it is to get those coins.
You need to use an exotic cipher,
Okay.
which you can get, which I still have like 2 on me. And you can also, so Missouri also has like if you haven't picked it up from Missouri yet, gives you a mission to do, and you can earn another exotic cipher.
Oh, I didn't know that. I better go pick one up. I
Yeah,
haven't
so if
went
you
to
want to
Zurich
earn an
yet.
exotic cipher, go to Zur. He's in the tower.
I don't need one, but I'll go get one anyways.
Yeah, he's
I
in the
have every
tower
exotic.
hangar behind Dead Orbit. Pick it up. But yeah, you get a mission, and I guess it's like every week, and you could do, I think, Crucible, whatever it tells you to do, and you can earn an exotic cipher for that week.
I will say I am pumped about this exotic thing because I was able to get the one exotic gun I didn't have, which was the Heir Apparent or whatever.
Heir Apparent?
I think that was called. I have no idea.
The machine gun, right?
The machine gun. I didn't get it.
Which they removed from the kiosk.
It's gone now.
He removed it.
You know what? I noticed Doc went to go try to buy it, and he was like, "Where is it?"
It's
I was
gone.
like,
Yeah,
"I
they
don't know.
removed it.
I bought it. Why'd they remove it?"
I don't know, but I'm assuming it was a oopsie on their part. And that's why they removed it.
Well, I got it before I went there. That was the first thing I did. The first time I went there, I was like, "Bye," because that was the only exotic I didn't have, and I only didn't have it because I missed out on it by one day because I was super busy. Whatever that during that stupid, I hated that Guardian Olympics or whatever it was.
Yeah, I did not participate in that. That's a whole different. That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole thing.
But yeah,
I'm not super mad about it, only because stuff got sunset. That's the only reason I think they did it. But the exotics, a little bit annoying. But at the same time, they didn't get to enjoy those guns whenever they were at their best. You know what I mean? Like I got to use it throughout the last couple of years, which made me have more fun. So if they didn't have it during that amount of time, I'm sorry that they didn't get that as much fun.
So what rank are you currently on your season pass?
51.
Good gosh, man. I think I'm like
I could be higher, to be honest.
Like I'm pacing myself. I'm in no rush to do anything.
Pace yourself. We have 90 days left of the season, or less than that. Probably more than that. They'll probably extend
it's in February. It's in February where it ends. But like, I'm glad. I'm glad they made Season of the Hunt this week, because if they would have did it on the day, of launch of Beyond Light, people would have burned through both things.
Mm-hmm.
That would have happened. Granted, people still complained, but this would give them even more reason to complain, burning through the content super quick. So I'm glad they started a week later, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
What they go beyond that, again, no pun intended, what they're going to do after that. And that's the real question, because it seems like that's always been Bungie's problem. And not so much their fault, but they have to know it's year 6 of Destiny in general. They know the community can burn through things relatively quick, to the point where they have started to time gate things because of that, but people will always find a way to optimize and burn through. As we mentioned, that lost sector that you could have, within like 45 minutes, you could go from 1050 to 1200 soft cap like that.
We find the stuff. I'm down for that. If I can find something that's going to save me time and I can smash to a higher level, I'll skip out on everything. I don't care. Because you want to know that's why? Because the progression system is terrible in this game and it never changes. And we literally want to try our best to get to the highest thing because we're just doing old crap.
So if you can tweak the progression system, what would you change?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I'm the first person to say to people, no, well, if you don't like something, then how would you change it? But at the same time, like with a progression system, I feel like they could be way more in depth with the way things drop and making it so that, like,
I feel
end game stuff is different than just going and doing powerful and pinnacles and boom, you're done.
I've always said this when it came to Destiny, and I think Athalion even talked about it quite a few times. Like, certain playlists or certain things should have specific loot, like that, like in D1, strike specific loot, armors, the armor specific things to get that. Like, so, like back in D1, people would farm for the Grasp of Malak doing the Omnical Strike.
Yep.
Trying to get that God roll. Give us a reason to replay things to get a certain specific thing, not our 15th, gnawing hunger. Give us something. When it comes to raids, like I miss strike specific stuff, things that I know that I get better optimize, that I know I'm trying to go for, and I have to worry about getting my 15th or 20th gnawing hunger. As the progression itself, I kind of miss the way the leveling up system was in D1, where you would have to unlock the nodes.
Yes.
Like the little columns, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you pick and choose after you unlock, you level up, you pick and choose, whereas now it's not like that. There's these 3 things for each thing: your jump, your grenade, and your well, or whatever, your class ability, and that's it.
I think that Gathalion, I know we talked about him earlier, but he had a tweet last night that I saw that was a response to another tweet that, like, I thought was the truest. It was like speaking my own language. If I knew how to talk more smart, it'd be like this. He said every lost sector should have a weapon. Each destination should have its own lost sector set of armor. Strike should have weapon and unique armor drops. Vendor should have full refresh every year for weapons and armor, and also bring back factions.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like, I don't know anything about making a game, but those are some things that if you focused on, like, primarily, like, don't add any new locations, but maybe once a year you get a vendor refresh. Once a year, factions have something to do with, like, even if it was just bringing the faction leveling back, like, that's another form of progression.
I miss that.
And getting an exotic, because you did that, and if you grinded the crap out of a faction, you would get an exotic class item. They don't have those in this, and that was cool to have an exotic.
It was cool. But one thing I will give for Beyond Light is with the new lost sectors for Europa and Cosmodrome is if you unlock a lost sector, it pops up on your menu screen, and you could do legendary lost sectors. So if you run it solo, they're super hard. I attempted one and I got destroyed. But people can now solo them to get exotics. Like, and it tells you, like, exotic helmet or exotic chest pieces.
That's pretty cool.
It's specific. So, and I think there's even a master difficulty of a lost sector, I believe. Could be wrong.
I think there is.
So I like how they implemented that. As speaking of Cosmodrome, have you gone on Cosmodrome yet? Have you kind of like?
I have. Oh yeah, I'm so happy that it's back. Also, like, we haven't talked about this yet, and this is a good time to talk about it. Have you noticed the graphical changes with the engine? They changed the lighting in the whole game. It has to be.
It's more gritty. It's a little bit more darker.
I think everything just looks better to me for some reason. I don't know, for me personally. And it runs better. A lot of people on PC have been saying it's running worse. It's running a lot better for me, actually. I don't know why.
It's running better on console. Like, I've noticed that on the PS4, like, things were loading in quickly. Everything looked better. Things looked a little bit more faster because they pretty much upgraded their current system.
Yeah.
Like, they went from, like, Unreal Engine 4.1 to, like, Unreal Engine, like, 3.0 or 4.3 or whatever. So, like, they just kind of upgraded the engine a little bit. So
it looks nice. It's noticeable. It's noticeable. And the Cosmodrome, I only said that because the Cosmodrome is so beautiful, especially in high frame rates. So, like, playing it on PC, it's like 120 FPS, 1440p beauty. It's so pretty. It's so nostalgic, but it's still, like, I hate to be negative Nancy here, but it's still just like the Cosmodrome from Destiny 1. It doesn't feel the same as it
There's
felt when I
certain
was in.
sections of the Cosmodrome that are different.
Yeah.
And they closed off certain sections because it's not all of the Cosmodrome.
No, there's a really big section that I can't remember what it's called that's just gone.
Yeah, it's completely gone. It's where you would go towards Devil's Lair.
Yes.
It's
That
area.
area.
I forgot the name right offhand, but yeah.
I never can remember the names there or how to get anywhere there. I just know which section's missing.
I still know how to get I still know my way around it and all that stuff. They also I went to the one section, I think it's called, is it the Divide? I'm not sure. Where, do you remember that one part in the area where like you go down these stairs for there'd be these two knights in like Rasputin? Like it'd be in the building.
Yeah. The door's closed.
Yeah, to go down the stairs, it's sealed off. You can't go down there. I haven't seen Randall the Vandal.
Apparently he's around.
He's there, but I haven't seen him. That's the first thing I did is, where's Randall? What else? There's another part where they changed. I'm trying to think of it, but like they did change a few things. I did go to the loot cave, the OG loot cave.
That's still there, and you can still hit up the little remains on the ground.
Yep, you can still interact with that. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but the strike that is on the Cosmodrome, is a little different. You know what I'm talking? Have you done the strike on Cosmodrome?
Yes, the end of it specifically.
It's a little different. It's not who you think it is, and I guess the New Light story kind of explains it.
Yeah.
Because I was told that. So
you say I haven't done the New Light story. Is there like a whole entire campaign for it?
No, there's just a beginning part where like Eyes Up Guardian, blah 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 blah, and that's Shao Han.
Yeah.
He that's your introduction to him, and then you go from there. So it's like one little part. That's it. So
it makes me sad that people don't get to witness how cool the freaking Cosmodrome is in D1. Like I wish they'd just bring that. Like, you want to do the D1 campaign? Cool. Here, it's back.
There you go. Here you go.
Yeah, right. They got rid of all our maps. I'm sure that's the last thing they want to add.
Yeah, they did. Like, there's so much to talk about, and I don't want to run over time. So I'm going to cease it there. But that just tells you that we have more to talk about.
We have a lot more to talk about.
There's a lot more. Like, there's just so much we want to talk about, but like, we just don't want to talk too much.
Exactly. And soon we'll be talking about this with guests as well. Other opinions on it.
So we've already booked our first guest, which we won't name, but we already booked our first guest already.
Mm-hmm.
So be on the lookout for that when we make that a full announcement. In closing, so next Sunday, which will be the 22nd, there will not be a podcast. And it's more for the benefit for Luke because I just don't want him to die.
Yeah.
So he'll be doing the raid on Saturday, and regardless of how long it takes, I want him to recover fully. And I feel like, he has to rush, to do this raid or to do this podcast. And he's just drained from the previous day. So I'm going to let him off the hook. We're not going to do Sunday. Will not be a podcast. We'll be back on the 29th after he rushes home from Philadelphia for Thanksgiving. So we will do that to him. So we'll be back on the 29th. So sorry, blame Luke. # blame Luke. Again, I want to plug YouTube again at the end of every podcast. Master Luke over here takes the time to upload the VOD if you missed it live over on our YouTube, as well as the audio portion if you like listening to podcasts on the go. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Google, yada, yada, yada. We upload the audio to Anchor, and Anchor itself, which is cool, they distribute it for us automatically. So just type in the Destiny Nerds, and you should be able to find us pretty quickly. I went to Spotify, typed in the Destiny Nerds, and we popped up. So it's that simple. Again, follow us. If you haven't already, it's the best way to help promote and contribute to this because, again, the Destiny Nerds is the brand, but the podcast is the core of the brand itself. I'm constantly uploading stuff. Again, I've been recording. I'm going to start doing the Xur videos, in beautiful 4K, by the way.
It did look pretty.
Yeah. So I'm doing Zer videos every Friday, just showing you where he's at, not talking. Boom, he's there. Check it out. So yeah, anything else you want to add before we go, Luke?
No, just if you all have any questions, anybody that sees us on Twitter or who is in the Twitch chat or is on YouTube, post your questions in the comments on YouTube or just tweet at us and
Using the hashtag Destiny Nerds. Use the hashtag Destiny Nerds so we can
hashtag Destiny Nerds. Because
So-
around this section of the podcast, we want to answer some
It's
questions.
for you guys because no one asked us questions.
No one
And I
asked
was
any
hurt by
questions
that.
this week.
So if you want to post it in the YouTube comments, use the hashtag Destiny Nerds so we know it's a question. Same thing with Twitter. Ask a question, end it with hashtag Destiny Nerds. But yeah, so with that being all said, guys, again, no podcast on the 22nd. We'll see you on the 29th. And with that being said, guys, have a great night and a great week, and we'll see you in the season of the hunt.
Soon. I love you all. Bye.